Episode 2 of the Magivisual podcast has just started. On location, actually. We're at a park.
Yeah, we're at a park.
Are we though?
Yeah.
Can you
How
hear?
can we prove that we're at a park?
Every now and then you're gonna hear cars zooming by.
And a dog.
Yeah, and a dog barking.
And if we get mugged, that's the cherry on top, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a little bit of an agenda today. What do we have on the agenda?
We have introductions, and then we're gonna talk about why we're doing this podcast, and then we might do the letter C for our A to Z thing.
For our Sesame Street enthusiasts out there, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
This podcast was also brought to you by the number 6.
Because when you need a 9 in real life, just get a 6. I don't know, I feel like my energy...
If you have a 6, treat her like a 9.
Oh!
Wow!
He had that ready.
Oh god, I'm gonna get shit.
I'm telling you, female 18 through 38, that's his demographic.
I'm 18 and under.
I'm 38 through 65.
Actually, so we were trying this earlier, and it didn't really work out as well, but let's introduce ourselves and how we met each other. So I'm Daniel Cardoza.
Gabriel, that's it.
Gabriel Hernandez.
Are you kidding me?
And I'm Guadalupe Ibarra, a.k.a. Lupe Ibarra.
AKA,
The magic guy.
AKA,
Papa Lupe.
AKA,
Magivisual.
Papa Cherry.
You sound like Yes and, the improv game. Yes and.
Welcome to the Improv Podcast.
Alright, so I do want to start off with some introductions. We just said our names. And Lupe kind of did this in the first episode. I kind of want to delve deeper into it.
I was about to feel guilty and for you because I was like, we left him hanging dry the last episode.
Alright, Gabe, how did you meet Lupe?
Would you say we were?
Oh,
like
what
11?
did I say? You don't remember, huh?
We were like 11, and you came up
You were
to
12.
me, and you were like, "Yo, shawty, what's the deal with you?" You know?
Okay,
and I was like, nothing. Like, what's the deal with you? And he was like, I don't know. Let me get your number or something. I was like, fat chance. And 10 years later, I did give him a fat chance.
What actually happened is that I was at Bicentennial North. It was my first year going to that school because I moved schools every year, I think. So, I don't know why.
We need a sad sound effect right there.
And I was 11 years old, and then I was friends with Andrew Knight. Because when it was my first day of school, they were like, this little kid needs a friend. So they gave me the whitest guy they could find. Nothing against white guys, you know.
It was just like a matching of the colors.
Yeah, because I look really white, but I'm Mexican. Ahua.
We've grown since then.
Yeah.
It's the last decade, you know.
And
as a society,
I walked into the playground, and there was this little honey by a tree, and I was like,
You're making me blush.
oh shit, is that Van? And then,
He's not even in this era. What the heck?
and then I saw Gabe, and I was like, I'll talk to this dude, I guess. No, and then I just talked to him. Fast forward, how many years?
Like 10.
A year, right?
Oh,
Yeah, a year.
I like how you're turning to Daniel, even though he
Freshman year.
So like 6 years later.
I started dating a girl who I'm still dating till this day, but I don't think she wants.
Yeah.
That's a round of applause, everybody.
Yeah, you guys, it's been a while.
He's
Round of
loyal.
applause.
He's loyal for any ladies out there.
He's taken, but he's loyal.
Just know, if it was me and you.
How long has it been, real quick?
It's gonna be 5 years in May.
Hell yeah!
That's awesome.
If your relationship was a child, it would be entering kindergarten.
And she was like, hey, you should come to theater with me. And I was like, okay. So I did, and then I saw Gabe there, and then she was like, this is one of my friends, Gabe. And I was like, bitch, this is my friend. What the fuck? And then she told me you were like, oh, Lupe. I know Lupe. Yeah. We just hit it off from there. How about you, Cardoza? How did you meet me?
I met Lupe probably through Rachel, because Rachel is more prominent in theater. And then,
Plenty of fish.
Okay.
Christian singles.
You two were always hanging out, so I'm sure at some point I was introduced to you. I thought you were the magic guy.
I
You
used to
always
do
did
magic in
Yeah.
high school. Not proud of it, but people I know, they'll be like, it was so cool. Why did you stop?
We all went through our phases.
Yeah, I used to paint my nails black. And
I personally was a compulsive liar,
still.
Yeah, so that's how I met Lupe. Probably through Rachel, I'm pretty sure.
How did you meet Daniel?
Yeah, Gabe, how'd you meet me?
It was just all a blur, pretty much. Pretty much the same scenario. He was like this little freshman with a single strap on. Backpack. a single strap backpack.
Yeah. God damn it, Gabe. You don't need to do that to me.
He
Hold
had
on, I'm gonna cut.
single strap backpack, and then like he had a buzz cut. I don't know if he was choosing between ROTC or theater, but like
Yeah, so in freshman year, I kind of just cut my hair really short. I don't really know why. I just know that I did.
I think that was a freshman thing because we talked about this once. Another freshman phase.
Oh, wait, no. I do remember. It was because I was in freshman football.
Oh, yeah.
And I had kind of longer hair, and when I put on my helmet, it would kind of mess with me. So I decided to cut my hair because I thought I was going to take football very seriously.
Was it like a Britney Spears moment? Did you shave your head? Like
no, I thought it through. I was like, yeah, if I'm going to stay in football, I need to cut my hair. I ended up leaving football and going straight to theater, which is
I bet your
the
parents are
most
proud.
High School Musical thing I've ever heard.
High School Musical's dope.
Se cree muy Troy Bolton.
Yeah, so
But I remember we talked about this. Another freshman phase was like the wild colored cargo shorts. Like every freshman dude at some point.
I had red.
I had red too.
I had red, green, blue, and it regular.
It's part of that
khaki.
like I need to stand out,
Yeah. Or I think to me it was just part of like I'm at the point in my life where I don't care about what I wear. And then junior year hit, and I was like, I care.
Yeah, junior year is when I started taking things.
And then
somewhat
senior
seriously.
year-
You guys cared at some point? Like
You'll make.
I cared about what I looked
I think
like. I cared about what I wore.
I think I still need to get to that point.
You're almost there.
Yeah.
Do you still have that panda shirt?
Yes, I'm always going to. Everyone,
Pandemonium
listen
shirt?
to me. I think a lot of people are going to agree when I say that everyone has like that one shirt that like you've had since you were little, and somehow like through puberty and like body changes, like that shirt somehow still fits, and it's like your shirt,
No.
I'm sure people have. Daniel, do you have? that
I
shirt?
have one. It's my Justice League
See?
shirt. It has like all the pop kind of.
It's
Oh, that's what I wore in Avocado Addiction one.
yeah,
it's like
I have that
a-
exact same shirt, and I've kind of worn it every now and then.
It's like the sisterhood of the traveling pants. It's like that one clothing item that just somehow fits on
Yeah.
like, every. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so that's how we met. We're pretty much all throughout high school. We kind of just got to know each other.
I feel like we got to know each other better after high school. I feel like that's
Yeah,
when we really
honestly.
became friends.
How
Me
did
and
we?
Gabe were friends.
How did we like come to where we are now? Where like it was like a period of absence, and then suddenly it was like, oh hey.
Because I think what happened, I was really close to Gabe. Gabe was close to Cardoza. And then eventually I was like, oh, Cardoza's cool. And then eventually we like all stopped talking. Well, I stopped talking to you guys. And then Avocado Addiction 2 is a thing now. And then we realized that we're friends. And we were like, hey, we should do this.
I remember mostly, I think it was my senior year. Gabe had already graduated, and I was,
Perks of being a wallflower.
what's his name? Patrick.
yeah, I was
That actually
working
makes
on a
more
script.
sense,
I think it was my first semester.
Yeah.
I was working on a script that we had originally talked about his senior year, and then that was my senior year. I kind of decided to go through and rewrite it and all that. And then I told Gabe, I was like, hey, here's my rough draft. Do you want to go through and read it? Tell me what do I need? And then that's when we started writing together, and we were just writing back and forth. We talked about it a lot. We ended up working on it up until season 1. So we finished season 1 of the show, and during all that, I was at least slowly being caught up with Lupe more and more.
Caught up.
Caught up as in,
They
like,
met up for coffee,
We started talking.
Yeah, we started talking more and more.
Things got pretty serious, I guess.
It got pretty serious, and that's when Lupe was doing his whole Magivisual, like starting up.
I
that
feel
whole
like
thing.
it just all slowly progressed on its own, and then it was like,
Well, what happened with me during that point of my life is I realized doing magic for the rest of my life was, one, very expensive, and two, stupid. No offense to like magicians.
Yeah, no, it's just very difficult.
You got to
get
be
into.
like top of the pyramid.
I'm very. It seems, if you know me, it's very weird. I'm very like an introvert, truly, but I act extroverted. Does that make sense?
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You end up exhausted by the end of the day. Yeah.
So when I'd show like one person a magic trick, it'd be really personal, and they'd be like, "Whoa, that's really cool!" But then all of a sudden, all of theater is like standing around me, or the whole cafeteria, and
The
like
whole cafeteria.
it happened.
Even the lunch ladies.
Because Rico, you remember Rico Suave, the dancer?
Oh yeah, the dance.
He
moves.
stood up in like on top of like a table and was like, "This dude's crazy." At this point, everyone in the cafeteria was like standing on top of like the tables and everything, looking at me performing some magic trick, and that's when I was like, "This is really cool." But that's when inner me was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You don't belong here." So that's when I decided I'm gonna go behind the scenes in a way, because then I started watching Casey Neistat, and I started watching like who else? Casey Neistat really, and I started getting into like Scorsese and Edgar Wright, because I saw Scott Pilgrim.
I love Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Man, Edgar Wright's like my movie Elon Musk. But I eventually just I bought a camera, started filming, taking pictures, and then I realized I think the first picture that I took was like a good picture, was a picture of these birds, these pigeons, on top of like a light over there. And I really liked it. And I showed it to people, and they were like, "This is a really good picture." And I was like, I can do this. So I just started working towards stuff, started moving, and then I filmed Avocado Addiction 1, and that's when I was like, I love this, like, the whole editing of it and, like, doing all this.
It was like an impromptu. We were there for like someone's birthday, no?
Yeah, it was Rachel's birthday.
And then you're like, I got a new camera. Let's just like stick
Film
around or
something
something,
real
you know?
quick.
And then that's when I was like, I like doing this. And then eventually it just progressed. I started making music videos. And then now recently, like in the last 5 months, I got like really serious to the point where like I'm getting paid to do weddings. Like I already have another wedding in the future. And now I'm with you guys who also joined the team as like support and script writers, and it's just all coming together under the Magivisual name, and it's crazy. This is a very like sobby story, I'm realizing.
No, not
We
really
need to
sobby,
edit in
but
some like violin music.
But now we're here, and we're working on Avocado Addiction 2. We're working on Do. What the fuck is that?
Oh yeah,
It's
this
the
is.
cars.
I think this is a time where we can talk about any ideas like that we want to like throw out there.
did we already bring up that we're in like a park?
Yeah, we're in the middle of a park right now, so if you hear any noises, I'm sorry.
To set the mood, we are in a very dark
I can actually
cul-de-sac
post.
park.
I'll put a video up right now of what it looks like.
Yeah, so if you're just listening to the
It's
podcast,
dark.
go ahead and click on the video. There will be a video of where we are at.
It's very ominous. It's very chic. It's very playground-esque.
It's a playground.
Yeah, it's like the playground that you would be like, hey, let's meet up at the park and
But I think
Explore.
what we needed is, because in my house it's cool, but there's other people in that house, so
Yeah.
it kind of distracts from the fact that like we're basically alone here.
Another thing we want to try is recording podcasts like in different locations, like random locations.
So if you have a random location that you think would be funny for us to record, and go
Not
ahead.
illegal.
Yeah, not illegal. Don't make us break the law.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and record in like any random place.
Be like,
it would
hey,
just be funny.
record inside an abandoned parking lot or a Sizzlers.
I don't like Sizzlers.
Yeah, let's
You
not
don't
go
have to
Sizzlers.
like it to record it.
Yeah, no.
Okay, what like?
I feel like it'd be too loud.
Maybe like an empty movie theater. I don't know. Pick a movie that's been out
Yeah.
for a long while.
Stuff like that, honestly. But yeah, either way, we're gonna try our best to record the podcast in whatever random place we can find.
We're just disciplining ourselves,
Yeah, also, the reason that we're doing this podcast in the first place is, it sounds messed up, but it's not like, I think it's not to share our ideas as much as it is to just get our ideas, like, together. I use this as, like, if there's an idea we just thought of, I'll look back and be like, okay, I can pull from that.
I mean, like in the last episode, we completely renamed our show like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be what
A GLD.
GLD.
But
yeah.
I was just like, wait,
Magivisual.
It's on the Magivisual channel, so why isn't it?
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting because it's on the Magivisual channel, and we're pretty much
we're Magivisual.
yeah, we are at this point all that there is. We might get more added on to us
Eventually.
so you'll kind of get the behind the scenes of what's going on. You'll hear about kind of ideas that we have for the future of the channel. It'll be interesting.
Also, we've had like 2 people like reach out. Yeah, 2. Whoa.
Wow,
We've had-
That's
crazy.
good numbers. It's good
For
numbers.
the first podcast, yeah, who want to be on the podcast, but I'm very aware that only like 20 of you know who we are. So, if you guys want to see anyone who like you guys think is cool and ask like questions, we can get them on the podcast.
Yeah, like at this point, if you're somebody, because I know like in this generation, literally everyone's
just
like
trying to get out there.
someone to somebody, you know, in something. So if you're interesting or have, that's not a shot. That's like it's like more like a
If you have a talent,
a calling, you know.
Yeah, if you're
everyone-
trying to start up on something,
Everyone
come
has
on.
something to promote these days, whether it's the good Lord's name.
no politics or religion.
Yeah.
Your Pornhub account.
And I'm
maybe?
down with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we just set the mood for this podcast. But yeah, pretty much. If you're like somebody that's like, I want to come out here and talk about my political stance, we're like, maybe
I mean,
not.
If you've got a project you're working on, if you got something you kind of want to get publicized,
Or if you need any music videos shot, any
music
scripts written,
videos, weddings,
you know, boot up.
there's where we all consider ourselves writers. We can do scripts, you know, stuff like that.
Is this a promotion now?
This episode is sponsored by Magivisual.
At this point, it's true. Yeah.
We're just a constant. We're also sponsored by
Tollison. That's
Tollison. We're also sponsored by
Arizona.
the movie It.
Ooh, did I talk about that on the last podcast?
We didn't.
We went into a library because we were location scouting, and
Which we did find a location. If you guys are wondering, Avocado Addiction Part 2 is coming along fucking great. Seriously.
Yeah.
The script is, I believe, done as long as we get the approval from everyone in the cast and the fellow directors and stuff like that. We've got the location, the script, the actors. I believe we're looking for like one more person to sort of make a small, 1 or 2 more people to make a cameo in it.
That
It's
special
kind of small
somebody,
parts. Yeah, we've got that going.
so we're casting basically. So if you like acting and just want to have a good time, I'm sorry about the car. If you like acting, just leave like a comment or message us, and we can get stuff going.
So yeah, pretty much. If you're an interesting person, if you have a location for us to record at, or you like to act.
Hit us up.
Actually,
Or
if you also know how to knit, I would kind of also like to know
No.
that too. Okay.
Talking about that.
Oh my god.
I know this person who knits really.
I used to crochet.
No.
It's how I got through my year 12 of age.
So, like, I don't know if you guys know, but I was making like a leather sheath for my knife.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And today I was finishing it up. It's been like a couple weeks since I've ever even posted about it or anything. And I had to sew this final last part, and it was only like 2, maybe like 2-inch lines that I had to sew. It took like 2 hours because I was just so pissed at it. It was fucking insane. And by the time I was done, I had a headache. I just wanted to
My
like
God,
quit
that's
and all
intense.
that. But yeah, eventually I did get it done, and I don't know. That's also a thing about if anything we want to talk about is hobbies. I like to make stuff. Yeah.
Subscribe.
Subscribe to I
his
like to
woodworking
make stuff.
channel.
Oh,
No.
we can actually get you a woodworking channel.
Let's
No,
do
it's
that.
fine. I just do it as like a side thing.
I think I'm trying to learn how to cook more too. I made a pot roast.
My dad can teach you how to. That's a
Ah.
loud car. Hold on.
I'm sorry, but I think me and your parents are on the verge of like bonding, and I'm gonna move in.
My parents love you. And her doesn't. I don't think they like me as much.
I don't know how much they would like me. I've met them once,
Twice.
twice.
Technically twice. Yeah.
Last time. I mean, you technically only meet someone once. Think about that.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
So, yeah, I think for now, I think this
Pretty much
is...
sums it up.
Yeah,
this
that's
episode was pretty not exciting, but it's just information we wanted to get out there.
There's also like this is like we just went through it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it for this episode. If anything, next episode we can
Liven it up or something.
Yeah, leave any suggestions on what you guys want to see.
Questions. We could do a Q&A real quick.
We can do like that. We can do what are those columns where it's like, I have an issue, and we'll put. What
we do have to do right now to wrap it all up is do letter C.
Oh yeah. So
letter C.
Last episode we brought up our A to Z segment. We on our very first try, which didn't end up getting uploaded, was A. Our very first episode was B, and now we're going to talk about C, which very first word that comes to your mind, Lupe. What's the very first word that comes up to you? Canada.
Maple
Free
syrup.
healthcare.
Ooh, my mom. I told her to bring me honey, and she brought me corn syrup.
Which also starts with C.
Uh-huh.
Corn syrup.
But I don't know why she just assumed that I asked for corn syrup in my coffee when I clearly didn't. And
maybe she's Canadian. I don't know.
I don't know, bro. Okay,
got that. Oh, I got to think of a C name.
Daniel.
Oh, cameras.
Camera.
I recently bought an SLR camera, which is a film camera. So I bought film. I took like 2 pictures, just a couple test pictures to take it home. It's honestly, I like taking pictures. I like sort of photographing the things that I see. I'm honestly not kind of like having a model or having a theme or anything. I just kind of like looking at things from a different angle, stuff like that. So yeah, that's currently what I'm doing.
That's why you're part of the Magivisual crew.
And I'd like to consider myself a writer.
I consider myself.
If you're in any way interested in Avocado Addiction Part 2, it is coming along very well.
It's getting
I'd like to
released.
think so. It will be released in 2018. Come on, like we've got to be filming it within the next.
I'm calling it September 15th. It's on my birthday.
That means we have at least
on
until
Lupe's birthday, September 15th.
Holy shit! Is that the actual September 15th?
We just called it. We just
no,
called
you
it.
just said it.
September 15th.
We just
September 15th.
September 15th. Avocado Addiction Part 2. Person of Interest is coming out September 15th.
Person with the C.
PERCIN.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it.
You'll be like, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool little fact about it.
Yeah. So letter C. Wrap it up.
We'll try to film it before it gets too hot because there's an outdoor scene that if we tried to film, if we tried to film during summer, we'd fucking die.
I'm kind of a diva, so
we're in
if it
Arizona.
gets too hot and like.
But yeah, if you want to be part of it, we do need, I think, at least
two. I think 2 or 3 actors is what we need.
Yeah.
They're very small parts. It's
one
honestly,
female for sure.
Yeah, 1 female definitely, and 2 sort of
We already
secondary
have one of
characters. Still.
So, letter C. How about see you later?
All right, I think that
Yeah.
wraps it up.
Wraps
See
up
you
the
later.
scene.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right.